Hi, my name is Mohammed Sarwar and welcome to our CWTC Get Connected Community Podcast to share experiences, promote services and networking and great opportunities available for residents of Oldham. Today's topic is around how we can save money on bills, meters, etc. To find out more, we are proud to invite John Clarke, who is a Community Engagement Officer in Oldham, with extensive experience of working with Citizens Advice Bureau, from developing a business strategy to finance. As you probably know, the Citizens Advice Bureau is an independent charity that offers confidential advice online, over the phone, and in person for free. John Clarke, welcome to our studio.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
How are you?
Yes, I'm really good. How are you?
Excellent. It was good to see at the last event we had here.
It was so good. Thank you.
Nice to build up a relationship.
Yes, absolutely.
John, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I work for Citizens Advice as Community Engagement Officer, and we cover 4 areas. So Oldham is just one of our areas, and my role really is to make connections in the community, work with partner organisations, hear feedback from the community as well, whatever the needs are in the area, and then I go out and about delivering advice sessions and other things to community groups.
Excellent. Lots of knowledge there and engagement. John, great experience of engagement, etc. And the cost of living crisis, which has hit us all, and especially in the winter as both the bills and everything has gone up at least about 54%, which includes the council tax, food prices, and the inflation rise that we're facing. And we all know that different households experience inflation pressures in different ways. The crisis also means more children will be going to school hungry and going to bed cold. So can you tell us how people can meet this cost of living crisis?
Yeah, as you say, it's a huge topic and area of concern for people. We're working with lots of people who are terrified to put the heating on and don't know where the next meal is coming from. I would say really kind of outreach to us. So we're in many different locations across Oldham where you can see someone face to face, or there's always our free phone number so people can call up and get that advice. We can help in emergency situations. So if someone has no food, no fuel, we can issue food voucher, fuel voucher. But it's really just a sticking plaster, really. We need to work with those people and find a long-term solution. So I would say, start the conversation with us around your debts. There is now a debt drop-in actually in Oldham, which I can give you the details for.
Excellent.
And I would say just come to us.
And we will have this contact details at the end of this audio and video as well.
Yes, yeah. So I would say just kind of, take that first step, make the phone call to us. Or have a look at our website as well. It's got lots and lots of information, practical steps you can take, and links to all kinds of areas of support, benefits, grants, things you may not think you're eligible for. You can actually, have
and
a
that
go.
is an issue sometimes, isn't it? People having access to information or knowledge of information. So as we were talking earlier on, there are tremendous support available. And I'm sure we'll be highlighting that. So in terms of your work in the community is concerned, how do you feel, how do you assess the urgent need of things?
Well, it's great, I mean, we're not overwhelmed, but lots of people are coming to us for help.
Good.
So that's why we really want to work with partner organisations like yourselves to reach more people if we can. Obviously, we give appointments to those people who are most vulnerable, but it could be that there are people who can do things for themselves. So it's empowering those people, and if we could maybe run workshops together, providing information in other community languages, that would be really great.
And we were sort of talking earlier on about this, how different methods we can employ to make use of each other and the different platforms we can reach out to people. So it'll be a great opportunity to work with you, John. So let's come to the tips. How can we save money?
Yeah, so when I do my sessions, I talk a lot about ways you can save money on your energy. So you could have things like if you have an upstairs, think about maybe turning your radiator down because heat rises. Maybe turning things off standby, like a games console or TV, that can save about £60 a year.
Really?
We never ever advise anyone to be cold, never be cold. No. But if you turn your thermostat down just 1 degree, it can actually save £145 a year. Oh, wow. Things like a slow cooker is just 5p an hour to run, whereas your conventional electric oven is 85p. So we've got lots of tips like that, you know, practical things people can do, and they will see a big impact on their energy bills. Also kind of have a think about, you know, your bill and see if you can actually find it, if you can understand it. There's lots of information on the bill, maybe about your tariff. Maybe you're not on the cheapest tariff, and maybe there's other options with your supplier you can look into. You
have to think differently. I mean, I can go as far as to say we might have had it good in the past. Now is the time to think economically. Exactly. And how you can help yourself to minimize the crisis that we have. So in meters is another and sometimes a myth. How can smart meters can help?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. We hear lots of quite negative things about them, really. I think because the suppliers are kind of forcing people into it. It's still your choice whether you have one or not, but they can be a good tool in terms of budgeting your money. So with the smart meter, you get an in-home display, and so you'll be able to see exactly how much you're using. If you're on a prepayment meter, if you top up, you can still have a smart meter. And there's easier ways to top up, access emergency credit, you know, find out, you know, where you're up to if you're in debt with your energy supplier. So there's lots of good things about it, and you won't get any more estimated bills. So the bills will be much more accurate. You won't be paying more than you need to for your energy.
Sometimes there is a problem of having a sustainable job, and if you've got standing orders going and you have difficulties, how do people cope or can cope?
Well, we see lots of people with lots of debt issues. We would say, you know, start the conversation with us and do one thing. Don't be terrified of it. I know it can be really terrifying, but there are ways you can work with creditors to clear debts. Sometimes people might have health condition or other circumstance. You know, we can work with you maybe to write off those debts. Some energy suppliers do hardship funds to help clear those debts. So there are ways and things that we can look into and ways to help.
Excellent. And what different types of help can be? You mentioned some of them, and any others that is available for people that might not know of?
Yeah, so there's still cost of living payments which are happening now. Warm home discount as well, which is going to happen until the spring, and things also like there's a thing called the eco scheme. So if your property has a low energy performance certificate, that basically means that lots of heat and energy is being lost through the property, and you don't necessarily have to be on benefits. You could be the homeowner, as long as you're on a low income. Maybe someone has a health condition. Through the eco scheme, they could come and do some home improvements such as loft insulation, cavity wall insulation, maybe upgrade the boiler, and that's all actually paid for. You know, you might be eligible for that. So those kind of practical things, the help is out there. It's just pointing people in the right direction.
In the right direction.
Yeah.
And in terms of people meeting the criteria, and that's where a good service like yours and your experience will help to assess the individual if they are eligible.
Yeah.
Great. Now, particularly when you do your surgeries or your workshops and you come across people who cannot speak English, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, we have some people who speak other languages in our team, and if you have a telephone appointment, we can normally, you know, get a translator or interpreter for you. Yeah. But it's great to work with CWTC and other organisations who could, you know, translate for us. You know, we can work with them. They'll learn more about the topic. And then if one person knows, then that person in the community can speak to their friends, their neighbours, their relatives, and then a group of people know, So knowledge and information is important.
And I think in terms of interpreting is concerned, it is costly, there's no doubt about it, and it's getting the right people who understand the topic and able to translate that jargon in the right way. But then this is where the community organizations who have bilingual staff can become a bit more active in looking at translating stuff so that it has a better impact and understanding with the community they serve.
Exactly. Yeah.
So hopefully in the future as we work and look forward in translating some of the information and looking at different ways how people can understand.
Exactly.
Because lots of information sometimes it just goes overboard, doesn't it? So how can we practically just summarize things, make it fun learning,
exactly,
and hopefully make a bigger impact. The living crisis has an impact, both physical and mental. So in your findings, how do you think people are really coping? And what support they need?
Exactly, I mean, people are really under a lot of stress. They're coming to us with really, quite severe mental health, because of what's going on. They're very complex situations. I think for some people, just talking to someone, just having someone listen is really important. They feel like, that pressure has been taken off their shoulders. And then we can work with people step by step. Okay, this is the first step, You have to do things step by step. You can't say, we're going to sort it all out today. Because there's such complex issues. So I think, people coming to our drop-ins, seeing someone face to face can have a big impact. But there's lots of people out there who are suffering. So I think, organizations like yourselves, bringing groups of people together informally, building up those relationships is really important, because then people feel safe and then they can start talking about, what's going on.
Excellent. Just give me a good idea. I haven't taught to you now. Is then to approach another mental health service or actually a recipient of these clients and see how they are coping and what they need as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. And I think, John, it'll be great if you can provide some of your contacts. If you say it, we will also write it on the video as well. And,
so our website is really informative. We've got lots of information there.
What's it called?
And that's casort.org, so casort.org. And people can just email me as well, which is John, JOHN, .Clarke, CLARKE, @casort.org. So, I'm happy to help, other community groups.
So, John, what do you think of our approach in terms of the Get Connected Community Podcast?
It's brilliant. I think this is really long overdue for Oldham. As organisations, charities, we have to work together. There's so much, precious demands on people, and we're, through people like yourselves, we're going to meet different people who would never heard of us, think we're not for them, think we've closed down in Oldham, all that kind of thing. So I think it's great work if we can work together and help as many people as we can.
Well, thank you very much for your cooperation, and we have to thank our funders, the Community Fund, for making it possible for all of us to get together and connect. Anything else you would like to add to our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, so I think, have a look at our website. We also have a free phone advice line number, which is 0808 278 7803, and that's Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5:30. But have a look at our website as well, and you'll see where you can see someone face to face in Oldham. I think we're every day at the Civic Centre, the good old Civic Centre in Oldham. But if you're not in town, there's other locations closer to you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Well, I hope the listeners and viewers got a lot out of today's session and the great work Citizens Advice Bureau is doing, especially John. Get in touch with John, and hopefully you can get the support you need. Thank you so much. God bless and take care.